On September 17th, two F-16 and two A-10 jets belonging to the US-led coalition bombed positions of the Syrian government forces near the city of Deir ez-Zor, resulting in at least 62 deaths and more than 100 injured soldiers. The action followed the successful advance of the Syrian army at the strategic Tourda mountain south of Deir ez-Zor and was directly followed by a massive ISIS attack in the area. The Pentagon denied that the airstrikes were aimed at the Syrian army. However, some experts suggested that the airstrikes were the American answer to the recent advance of the pro-government forces in Deir ez-Zor. We recall some 1,000 elite soldiers of the Syrian Republican Guard had arrived in Deir ez-Zor in order to support operations against ISIS prior to the US-led airstrikes. The Russian Ministry of Defense said the incident was a direct consequence of the stubborn unwillingness of the American side to coordinate with Russia in its actions against terrorist groups in Syria, while the Russian Foreign Ministry released a statement saying that the US-led airstrikes on the Syrian army were on the edge between gross negligence and direct assistance to the Islamic State. The incident has deepened the split between Russia and the United States on diplomatic and military levels over the situation in Syria and has decreased the chances of de facto implementation of the ceasefire agreement that had been signed by the states' foreign ministers. Considering the United States' unwillingness to release the text of the US-Russia agreements, or to separate the so-called moderate opposition from Jabhat al-Nusra and other terrorists, and an American public rhetoric clearly aimed at damaging the concluded deal, it could be suggested that the airstrikes on pro-government forces were an attempt to sabotage the implementation of the ceasefire deal and the start of US air raids on al-Nusra. It's important to note that on September the 18th, ISIS downed a Syrian MiG-21 warplane in the province of Deir ez-Zor. The pilot, Colonel Ali Hamza, was reported killed in the crash. The fighter jet was allegedly downed with 23mm machine gun fire while it was conducting air raids against terrorists. Pro-government sources reacted by suggesting that the US Special Services had been able to provide intelligence to ISIS, thus assisting the group to counter Syrian Air Force air raids. Meanwhile, in Aleppo, US-backed moderate oppositioneers have executed 26 civilians, including 9 teenagers, who attempted to leave their neighborhood via humanitarian corridors provided by the Syrian government. According to the spokesman for the Russian Defense Ministry, Igor Konashenkov, the report is based on the information provided by civilians who left Sheikh Hadia neighborhood via the 1st and 6th humanitarian corridors on Sunday.